everybody, welcome back to the Darwin's Room channel. Thank you guys so much for joining me for another episode. Que lo que mi gente en el Caribe. I'm looking forward today to talking about Jurassic World Rebirth. This is the 7th film in the Jurassic Park, Jurassic World franchise. But I was particularly looking forward to it because it's directed by Gareth Edwards, who I think did a phenomenal job with the movie The Creator, and I've heard very good things about Star Wars Rogue One. I haven't actually seen that one. I'm very sorry. It is on the list of movies that I really need to catch up on. So I was interested to see what would he do with a big franchise film like this and what could he bring to the table. So I will say I didn't hate this movie. I didn't love this movie. For me personally, I thought it was kind of just the middle of the road. Take it or leave it. It's okay. You know, it was what it was. But it does have a lot of redeeming qualities. So I can see how for some people this would be a really great guilty pleasure, but I can also see why some people would not like it at all or would be really fond of it and not even think it's a guilty pleasure, it's just straight up pleasure. But for me, it was just the middle of the road. In terms of my issues with this film, I think that the plot is very generic. It's not gripping, it's nothing that felt worthy of a sequel. And then in addition to the story not feeling worthy of being made, the characters for the most part aren't really all that likable. Scarlett Johansson's character, she does a great job as the lead of the film, but she's doing only as much as she can with the material she's given, because I found her character to be very unlikable because of her personality and her viewpoints on why she's doing what she's doing. And then they, of course, take a generic and formulaic approach to sort of change her perspective on things throughout the course of the film. So I just found it to be very bland and unimaginative, which I found pretty disappointing if I'm being honest. But Jonathan Bailey and Mahershala Ali, they most certainly anchor this film. They are what kept me engaged throughout the entirety of this film. I found them to be very enjoyable, very convincing, and they added a nice dynamic and element to the story. But I think one of the things that holds up this story from being able to be better than what it is the subplot with this family that Scarlett Johansson and her crew come across. If you were to take out the entire subplot with this family, it doesn't do any damage or change to the rest of this film. I don't think it was necessary. I think it made this film feel longer than it needed to be. And so it causes a lot of drag in the pacing, and the movie clocks in at about 2 hours and 13 minutes. This could have been perfect at about 1 hour and 40 minutes. With how they handle the plot, pulling itself in different directions, it drags it down to a halt very frequently. So that was another issue that I noticed with it. And of course, with these types of movies, it's a popcorn film. So I'm not expecting above all fantastic logic, but I do want it to be somewhat immersive. And when the things that occur in this movie happen, it feels forced in order to push the movie in a certain direction. And I think they could have done that a little bit more creatively. Without spoiling anything, this is all because of a Snickers bar. That's without spoiling anything. And I just think that they could have handled that so much better. They could have made it make more sense. It felt really silly and it takes you out of the experience. The movie tries to have moments where it's emotionally prevalent and then dials back with a more subpar approach, and it feels very surface level, which kind of counteracts any impact those emotional sequences could have had. In terms of the humor, it's fine. There's a couple of chuckles, but most of the time, a lot of the humor falls flat and it feels very forced and unnatural. So that was disappointing. But what kept me engaged was Mahershala Ali and Jonathan Bailey. And when Scarlett Johansson's character starts to come around with a new perspective, you start to like her character a bit more. I like the chemistry between her and Bailey. They worked very well together, and I also like the dynamic between her and Mahershala Ali. Their friendship, that dynamic worked very well for the film. Rupert Friend is in this movie as well, and he's just the generic billionaire that doesn't care about anything. It's something that you've seen before. It's fine, it's fun. The visuals, this movie is stunning. absolutely gorgeous. The landscape shots are fantastic. The cinematography is excellent. The special effects and CGI look great. So from a technical standpoint, this film is fantastic. It was more so the foundation of the film that I think had some rocky ground that it couldn't recover from. So in general, my rating and my thoughts of this film is that it's just right there in the middle of the road, as I mentioned. I'm gonna give Jurassic World Rebirth a 2.5 out of 5 stars. It's fine. It's an easy guilty pleasure movie if that's something that you're looking for, and it's not terrible. I don't think you'll hate it, but you probably won't love it, but it's a good way to pass the time. So thank you guys so much for joining me and for tuning into this episode. God bless you guys. I'll have some more reviews for you coming soon. Take care.